David Ogilvy, who was an account executive for a firm in England during the 1950s, he actually had an interesting philosophy on management. He believed management should go after the top talent, and after you find the top talent, bring them to your organization, put them in the organization, and then reap the benefits of them. Now, a conflicting viewpoint is Thomas Watson, who is, or was the president in 1950 of IBM. We all know IBM. And he had a conflicting viewpoint. And his viewpoint was to find good talent, not look for bad talent, but to develop that talent. Now, given the choice to work between a David or a Thomas, it's pretty clear that we'd want to work for a Thomas. He values the employee a little bit more. But fact of the matter is, we don't always get a choice. We don't have an option of who manages us. Most of the time, we're just delegated. So, comes to a point here, how do we get a David to think more like a Thomas? Now, in the study that was just done, it actually appeared in Globe and Media. It is a newspaper in Toronto. This article was written by Henry Shasher, and it was about 5 things that a manager should do to avoid when he is managing. And the number 1 thing was a performance evaluation, to get rid of the annual performance evaluation for various reasons. Now, it got me to thinking maybe this is a small step we could take, changing the performance evaluation, to get Davids to think more like Thomases. Now, we've all had performance evaluations, whether it's in a big company, small company, what have you. Let's just point out some of the negative aspects of the current system that you're under. Maybe some things that you don't like that you'd like to change. One thing that I would do is, I think it's biased.
I think at times it can be really awkward.
Anna, you're in HR. What do you think about?
I guess a point system, you can't really
Point
give
system.
someone
Awesome. That's great.
point.
A few more.
If they don't start on time, you don't have the full year to meet your goals.
Yep. Let's get one more up here.
I feel like when you're actually given the performance evaluation, you're judged in the last 3 months of your performance.
Yep. Just put short. So pretty quickly we came up with multiple issues of things that we see in our current performance evaluations. So let's now think, how can we change this? Tonight, now that we've identified the need, I'm going to talk about a different form of performance evaluation. It's called catalytic coaching. I'm going to walk you through the steps of what it is, the various benefits, the value that it has, as well as how easy it is to implement for people like Anna and HR. So again, we talked about the need. The traditional evaluation is outdated, and I have a comic strip here. Okay, you invented the wheel, but what have you done for me lately? This sadly is the world that we live in. One thing that I noted, something like GE, a company like GE, after you go through your performance evaluation, if you're in the top or the top 10%, you're fine, you get a raise. If you're in the bottom 10%, you get cut. Now, an interesting thing to note is a lot of these people, like Anna had said, have a point system in place or a ranking system. So if all of you are under me, you all did well this year, but I'm only allowed to physically give out 2 A's as a performance evaluation. That means 3 of you, 4 of you, 5 of you could even be deserving of A's, but you're not going to get it because I'm only allotted 2. This system, it's got to go. So what is catalytic coaching? It was created by a man named Gary Markle. Gary Markle was a longtime VP of HR for Exxon, Shell Mobil, and Dodge. He retired and created this system. It's a replacement for the traditional evaluation. And what exactly is it? Well, it's 3 parts, and I have a mock example right here. It's typically a packet. You don't need the packet, but it's 3 parts. 1 is a form for employee input, and this right here is going to be, I'll pass this around so you guys can see it, but it's going to be in this yellow form, and it just outlines different things. They want you to talk about your career, they want you to talk about home life, they want you to talk about projects that you've worked on, your strengths, what you wanted to accomplish, various different things. Now the second part of it is the employee's perspective. They write down how they think that they helped you this year, different various accomplishments they wanted to achieve but maybe not have gotten to, and ways that they felt like they should, I guess, better acquaint themselves with you. Now from these 2 forms, you come into the meeting, you fill these out beforehand, and you sit down face to face with your advisor, And from that, you actually rehash a personal development plan. You actually sit down and you mold where you want to go the next year, whether it be career, home life, different projects you want to get done. And that here, another example of that plan is right here. So I'm just going to circulate this around so you guys could take a look at some of the various things. So what are the benefits? Like I said, it's really driven by the employee. You come beforehand with a written piece of things that you want to talk about, different things in your career, family life. It doesn't just pertain to the scope of you're going to come in and tell me what you did, you're going to write this long paper, and I already have a predetermined grade that I'm going to give you. The judgment capacity is removed. If anything, you are the person who gets a chance to judge your manager. You get to critique how they helped you, various ways that you want them to help you, and various, I guess, jumping points for next year. The personal development plan, if you don't like your personal development plan, then that's tough, because you are half of the personal development plan. You have half of the input that goes on that paper. So you're actually, it's like a roadmap. You're actually forging the roadmap, where you've been and where you want to go. It instills a sense of stewardship, and that is interesting for a company's perspective. The more people that buy into the system, the more happy they are, the more they don't want to leave. They buy into your company, they produce better results. So that's one major aspect that it helps the company. And cost sensitive. I'm going to get to that now, how to implement it. It really is a simple process to implement. So how do you go from here? How do you take the next steps to implement a catalytic coaching experience in your workplace? There's various resources, various templates. They have an online forum that has, it's kind of like a wiki that we've been dealing with, where you can kind of interact. You can see different models, different makes. The big thing about this is you can personalize it. No two catalytic coaching experiences in two different companies are going to be the same. Our company actually purchased this book and had Gary Markle come in to speak. He was actually on campus today, and we formed from our HR group a catalytic coaching manual. Now this is my manager's manual. I wish I could pass this around, but it's confidential, so you guys don't get to see. But pretty much we took the information here and we tailored it to Infragistics. We're a technology company, so there's various things about a technology company that aren't applicable to other works. We had mentioned before dress code. That isn't something that's really applicable. So this here really hits home for our organization. The biggest way to get people on board is employee workshops. Once your HR decides they want to go in this direction, this is the best way to communicate this system. So in closing, guys, I hope if you work for a David, you're motivated to go talk to your boss, to a team lead, and talk about the various different effects that catalytic coaching can have. We identified the need, talked about what it is, the various benefits, and how easy it is for HR to implement. Thank you.